Now, here's the thing. I don't have my glasses, I never wear them, and I love to see all of your pretty faces. So what I want you to do, all those people, especially you, Bugs Bunny, I want you to get up and move to the front rows. I want to see facial expressions.
We don't
Come
bite.
over, we bite hard if you ask us. Promise. Oh wow, look at this skater Batgirl right here. That's pretty epic. Whoop whoop, Nightwing. Cool. Now that everybody's settled, my name is Chris Riley. I have been cosplaying for 10 years now, so full-on decade. I am the creative director of Geek Pride, which is the LGBT division of Club Cosplay. I am also a cosplay ambassador for Prism Comics, which is a nonprofit org. Here you can visit their booth in the retail hall, and it supports LGBT creators in comic books. And I'm going to say the name, and you're going to introduce yourself. So Jimmy Sherfy, tell us about yourself.
Hey y'all. So my name's Jimmy, and I've been cosplaying for about 5-ish years now with some folks here that I met the first time I ever cosplayed. And I do a lot of Disney cosplays, Sailor Moon stuff, and gender bent. I'm gender bent She-Ra today. Hera, we'll say. So you guys knew, right? Thank you. And I guess that's it for now.
Justin Garrett.
Hello, hello, hello.
Also known as Adorkable J.
Yes, yes. I've been cosplaying since 2008, but I really got into it like 2012. Mainly known for a lot of gender bent things, Pluto, Ivy. When I'm not doing cosplay, I teach Zumba at Choose Fitness and 24-Hour Fitness. Fitness is a big thing in my life, so I like to see happy faces when I'm teaching and stuff. And I also work at Big Lots, so if you ever need a discount.
Kathy Coots.
Hello, everyone. So I've been doing Gabrielle for about 5-6 years, but this Comikaze is my 2-year mainstream conniversary. So it's 2 years ago that I debuted with Todd's Costumes here at Comikaze. So it's really crazy and fun to just be here with everyone. I'm also one of the co-hosts of Geek Pride, and I also work with Prism Comics as well. I'm another one of their cosplay ambassadors. I will be hanging out there tomorrow. And, oh yeah, later today at 1 p.m. you can find me hanging out with Xena, Warrior Princess, aka Bernadette Bentley, at the Le Geek So Chic fashion booth over on the other hall, the South Hall. Are we in the West Hall? Where are we?
I think we are in the West Hall right now.
Okay, so in the South Hall by the main stage there. You can find us at 1, and we'll be taking pictures as a duo, and it'll be a lot of fun, so you should come on by.
And Lezztrooper.
Hey everyone, my name is Kaylee Diamond, aka Lezztrooper. I'm actually probably the newest person to cosplay here. I've only been cosplaying for maybe about a year. My first time was at Celebration earlier this year, so this is probably my 4th convention now. I only dress up as a stormtrooper. That's really all I really care about, is just being a stormtrooper. Also, I'm an ambassador for Prism Comics. Love it, love the organization. Definitely go check them out. When I'm not cosplaying, I'm in law school full-time, so it's kind of hectic trying to do cosplay and law school at the same time. And as well, for my day job, I work at the LGBT Center here in LA, so definitely love being part of the LGBT community, helping the cause, and doing whatever I can to promote LGBT awareness.
Cool. So, thank you, everybody. I shall applaud you as well. I want to know a little bit about our audience here. How many of you consider yourself cosplayers? Raise your hand. Awesome. How many of you are brand new to cosplay and don't know anything about it? Raise your hand. Okay, we do have a handful of people here, so I'm going to do something real quick. I don't
believe you with that awesome costume.
I'm just going to, for our newbies here in the audience, I'm going to go over some cosplay terms that we might be bringing up during our conversation. So I'm going to shout it out, and any one of you on the panel can jump in with the definition. Okay, so we'll do something, we'll do an easy one. Let's go with gender bent cosplay. Come on, no pauses, jump in there.
Character's female, you're male, you make the character male, and vice versa. Does that make sense?
That's right. And an example of that would be me. I am April O'Neil from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I like to call my character April Bro-Neil. And this is Hira. Okay, so then what about crossplay?
Okay. I was like, I don't know if y'all have crossplay. Okay. So, yeah, you dress as the opposite gender, but you are supposed to be that gender. So, if I was dressing up as a female character, but keeping it looking female. Drag. Does that make sense too? We'll just say drag. Similar.
That works. Drag totally works. Okay, so can someone explain to me the Hawkeye Initiative?
I don't even know what that means. I don't know what that is. I know you know, but I didn't quite understand it.
Well, the Hawkeye Initiative, just really quickly, is a movement within the cosplay community and also comic book artists where they draw male characters in female poses. Because you know on the comic book covers how they're ridiculously posed with their butts out and their boobs out. Well, you know, that's not really realistic. So cosplayers that dress like Hawkeye started posing like female characters would. Just to show how ridiculous comic book artists drew women. And it's actually changed the industry. If you look at comic book costumes even now, you know, they are less sexualized and more real. So, boo on you guys for not knowing the Hawkeye Initiative. Here, I'll give you an easy one.
Well,
How about...
I tried to Google it, but your explanation was way easier to understand.
Okay, cosplay does not equal consent. Has anybody here seen that sign? It's a billboard that says, "Keep your tentacles to yourself." Somebody explain this to me.
So essentially what that is if you see somebody and they're half naked like I am today, it's not okay to just come up and be like, "Oh, your top is so cool," and like grab my boob because I didn't tell you that you could grab my boob. Or, you know, with anybody, like just because somebody is dressed sexy doesn't mean that you have the right to touch them or, you know, to do anything inappropriate towards them that they have not given you the consent to do.
Very good. So, you know, those are just some of the terms that we may be talking about that might pop up. So, newbies, welcome to the club. You are in the know. Now, I want to switch gears a little bit. And this is an LGBT-themed panel, so let's talk about some LGBT stuff. How did you come out? And does any of that relate to your costumes? I want to start with Kathy.
Well, for me, I came out at a very, not like an extremely young age, but a fairly young age. I came out when I was 19. I had actually first kind of come out when I came out, I'm from Minnesota, and I moved out to California, and when I went to acting school, I came out as bisexual, because I had a boyfriend that was back home, like a high school boyfriend, but, you know, I was also kind of like, well, I'm also into, you know, I was realizing I was into women, and everyone was so supportive, like, "You're bisexual, that's so cool, be my friend." I'm like, oh, okay, like, I thought this was supposed to be hard, but you're all so supportive. And then I started to understand, no, I'm a lesbian, I like women, I love women. Now how to tell my folks, you know, 'cause I came from middle of nowhere, like 500-person town in the Midwest, and that is a terrifying thought to, you know, be like, okay, I have to come out to these people and hope that they don't hate me for this. So I kind of warmed them up. They knew I was dating somebody, but I would always refer to them as them or they. I never gave my parents a gender to this person that I had been dating for a year. So I go home and I sit them down, and I know my parents well enough that if I tell them something like this in a public place, they won't freak out. They'll wait till we get home to freak out. But we sat down over breakfast. I'm straight off the plane, and I was like, listen, I have to tell you guys something. I was like, get it out of the way right away. It's like, I like women. I like women a lot. And my mom just looks at me and she goes, well, you know what? I was beginning to wonder if you were or if you weren't. And they were just so chill about it. Like at one point prior to that, my mom had asked me, because I was like, oh Mom, I have great news today. She goes, are you coming out of the closet? And I was like, no, not today, but this is my great news, and kind of just like glanced over it. So I think they knew it was coming, but they were extremely supportive. And you know, my mom's been adorable. She tries really hard to understand the gay rights, and she actually had a male friend that was gay growing up. So for her, she was like, she already had a great example of someone who was gay. So when I came out to her, she's like, you know what? I'm gonna love you no matter what. And I'm lucky. I was extremely blessed that I have a fantastic family that is like 1,000% supportive of who I am. I had one of my uncles went and rallied for gay rights in Minnesota when they were trying to legalize gay marriage. And yeah, I extremely, extremely lucky. For me coming out, I actually didn't get into Xena until probably like 5 years after I came out. So for me, the costume is not related, but it's really awesome to play a character that has such like a strong voice in the gay community.
Awesome. So Jimmy, I'm going to switch it over to you and ask the same question, but let's keep the answer a little shorter.
All right, I came out of the womb there. No, I never really came out to anybody except for a couple of friends of mine. I never really felt the desire to or the need. My mom said, hey, is Prince gay? And I was like, nobody knows. And I think that was her way of saying, are you gay? Yeah, so I've been pretty lucky or blessed with family that was never an issue. We don't really even talk about it. It's very normal. Like, it's life. It's how it should be. Yeah. But my mom wouldn't buy me an Ariel doll unless she was a mermaid, because the other one was too much like a Barbie doll. Oh, and now I have an obsession. I have like 100 of them. But that only lasted like a good 2 years, and then she was over it.
So I'm going to jump over to Kaylee over there.
Awesome. So my coming out was pretty rough, I have to say. I came out in college probably when I was about 21 or 22. I did a very my generation thing and came out via text message to my parents, which probably wasn't the best idea, and the response to that was something my parents would totally do. They just bought a ticket, because I was living in San Francisco at the time. My parents are from down here. They bought a ticket, flew up to San Francisco that night, and confronted me about it over a dinner in which my girlfriend attended. So it was a pretty awkward situation for everybody. My parents didn't really like it for a long time. They didn't really talk to me too much. I lost the majority of my friends, and it was a pretty rough time for me. But that's kind of what my cosplay is about, I think. In my opinion, I think I needed to reach out to some kind of community to gain some kind of friends back again. I didn't really know what to do, so I just fell into Star Wars, became totally obsessed, started building my costume, got really involved with all this Star Wars cosplayers and the 501st, and that really just built up my whole community again, and I found something where I belonged, because I really felt like I wasn't belonging anywhere. So my cosplay is my community, it's my family, and I would do anything for my cosplay family, because they've given me everything back, all my friends, all my life back, so it's awesome.
Justin?
Alrighty. It's actually ironic that I'm wearing Green Lantern today, because he's a great big part of my childhood and me coming out. I loved Hal Jordan growing up. He was the coolest person. He had a mask, he had a green suit, green's my favorite color. He was just a really cool guy. So I'm like, okay, well, he could be super cool and have a mask and hide his identity. I'm like, well, I'm gay, so I'm just gonna wear a mask, figuratively. And then it was about when I was 17, I got introduced to Jon Stewart, who was like, F the mask. So he doesn't wear the mask. I'm like, okay, all right, I don't need the mask. So I just came up to my mom. I was like, Mom, I'm gay. She's like, okay, Olive Garden? I was like, okay. Well, it was really easy because I grew up in a family of theater, so we're just used to having gay guys all around. So my mom, I wasn't that scared to come out to, but it was my dad. I was like, oh, how do I tell my dad? But then I was going to tell my dad, and the week before, my dad calls me, and he's like, so your brothers and sisters say you're gay. What? He's like, yeah, they stalked your Facebook. So like, yeah, I'm gay. I'm like, is that a problem? He's like, no, you're my son. I love you. I'll love you no matter what, and I wish you the happiness. So we don't really talk about it. One of those kind of like, you don't talk about it, but they're okay with it. So it was kind of easy for me coming out. So that's that story. Easy.
Easy. I like easy. Now I want to talk a little bit about the LGBT community at conventions from the past to the present. I can speak to this just because I've been cosplaying for a decade, and I was there when MySpace was popular. Does anybody remember MySpace? Oh my gosh.
Got my top 8.
Yeah. Back in the day, I would wear, obviously, costumes that made me look obviously gay. And I was doing it at a time where it wasn't accepted. And I did get a lot of support, and that's why it empowered me to continue on and evolve and grow. But back in the day, it was only a fraction. I would say a good 75% of the people had negative reactions to me. I was bullied, I've been called names, I've been beat up. Girls used to say, oh, that's so gay. And then other people would just be like, you know what? You rock, you be you, you're awesome. But I've experienced the heartache of that. But how has that changed? Where are we today? What are reactions to you as an LGBT member of the community in the cosplay world? Justin, let's start with you.
I'd say, nowadays it's very easy, especially in the cosplay way. All right, when I first started cosplay, it was very, how do I put this? I was scared to come out as gay as a character or something, or tell somebody that I'm gay, because it was very judgy, like back in 2005, 2006. But like nowadays, it's one big family. Like you come in, everybody's hugging, everybody's having fun, and I think it's really simple nowadays for someone in the gay community to come into cosplay, because cosplay is just one big family, and then if you're gay to it, and we're like mega family, so we just comfort everybody that comes into our group of people.
Kaylee?
My one's kind of a mixed reaction. When I first started building my armor, I really just wanted to individualize it, so I slapped like a rainbow sticker onto it and went to my first convention, and the reaction was really mixed. When I first walked in the door, people were snickering at me a lot, kind of giving me like this weird vibe, and over time it's gotten better, definitely. Like from one con to the next, I definitely see more people being like, hey, like cool pauldron, like represent, and I'm like, yeah, that's awesome. So there's definitely like that facet of it, but I think where I feel the most adversity is on social media. And whenever I post things on Instagram, stuff like that, I'll get at least a couple of people that are just like, what are you doing? Like, why are you making Star Wars gay? Like, what's wrong with you? You're ruining Star Wars. But, I mean, there's just a few of those people and a ton of people who, embrace me. So you kind of just have to take the haters for what they are. A hater's going to hate, and you just brush them aside and accept, all the rest of the people that are really, loving and awesome.
Jimmy?
I've had a few experiences like what you're, but like she was saying, it's kind of like there's I call it real life cosplay and then social media cosplay, and the social media stuff to me isn't real. Like the people who say all those negative things, they have nothing better to do with their lives. They're not actually at these conventions enjoying anything that we are. So you're always going to have people, even at a convention, maybe on the side, laughing at you or something every now and then, but really, who cares?
Kathy?
I've never, to be honest, XenaCon is where I started, and XenaCon is just one big gay convention. That's what it is. The gays, they gather at XenaCon.
I gotta jump in and say, I went to the last one, and I became a lesbian that weekend. It was nuts. Go ahead, Kathy.
But yeah, so, I've never personally experienced that adversity, because when I started in that environment. And then by the time I came to mainstream conventions, there is that, feeling of love and acceptance, and, the community really kind of has a voice now. So, Yeah, it's great. I love it. I love that cosplay. There's no matter where you are. There's a place for the gay community.
Yeah, and even just oh, is this Nana Bear? Nana, everybody, welcome Nana Bear, our other panelist.
I'm
Come
so
on
sorry,
down.
guys. I am so unprofessional and awful. I am so sorry.
But you look gorgeous, darling. Doesn't she look gorgeous? Yeah. You know what? Since Nana Bear has jumped in, I'm just going to close out what I was going to say, and then we'll introduce her. Last night, I was walking around downtown LA because I had a film shoot, and then I had the after party, and there was a ton of alpha male straight dudes roaming around in packs, doing their dude bras, whatever. And I get really intimidated by that just because of past experiences. But in the past, they would have been saying, "Oh, faggot," but now they're like, "Dude, that's sick." And I was dressed like gender bent Supergirl. So, yes, society has changed, people's outlooks have changed. And we are in a better place in society than we have been in the past decade. So, it's good. Anyway, Nana Bear, I want you to introduce yourself. Tell us, how long have you been cosplaying? What got you into cosplay? And ready, go. Where are you from?
Is this on? Okay, whatever. I have like a really loud voice anyways. I'm Nana Bear. I've been cosplaying for 6 years. I really like cosplay. I'm from California, and hi.
I like it. All right, yeah. That was a good one. Okay, so let's talk about a little bit about cosplay. I want to know, do you construct your own costumes or do you commission others for costumes? Nana Bear, let's start with you.
It depends. Like, sometimes I'll make a dress and I'll be like, okay, I made this. And sometimes I'll see someone else's work and I'll be like, I want you to make me something, Like, it depends for me. Like, I love making stuff, but I also love buying stuff from people who are really talented, That's just how I feel.
Justin?
I think I've made 2 of my outfits, but the rest were bought. But I am very good at making props, so I've been making props lately. So that's been fun. So
Cool. Kathy, I want to know, tell me, do you commission people or do you purchase them or do you make them?
Well, I have made some of my Gabrielle costumes that are like obscure things from like specific episodes. The particular one that I normally wear was made specially for me by Todd's Costumes. And with the rest, it's a lot of the stuff I do, I kind of put pieces together, like pieces, things like, oh, this is close, I can transform this into this. So I'm kind of all over the place. Like, if it's something that I look at and I'm like, no, my skill set does not involve that, then I'm like, okay, I need assistance from a knowledgeable adult.
Jimmy?
My answer is pretty much the same. I've made a few costumes, but I don't want to admit that I made it because I didn't like it. But I've gotten commissions before. This is made by my friend Petite Leon, who's fabulous. And usually that's the route I go, depending like what kind of costume it is and how good I want to look.
Cool.
Means I don't make it then.
So, so this is a question anybody can answer. What is the best way to find people that are talented that can make costumes for you? Who? Go ahead, Nana.
Okay, I usually meet them at conventions. Like, I'll see someone wearing like an amazing dress and then I walk up to them and I'm like, dude, whoa. And they're just like, hey, so yeah, I make stuff. And I'm like, oh, cool. Here, make me all this. Like, that's usually how it works for me. Like, the first time I commissioned like a huge ball gown, I saw this girl wearing like a really pretty, her own design of a Cinderella dress, and I was like, wow. And we started talking, we became friends, and then bam, I just commissioned a dress and it was gorgeous, like amazing. I think that's the best way.
Cool. The next question is hypersexuality versus conservatism. And the LGBT community is known for displaying hypersexuality at conventions and events. If you look at our pride parades, as an example, you know, you got a lot of people go-go dancing on box and booty shorts. And, you know, that's how we celebrate our pride. But what is that like in the cosplay community? Do you think that sexualized costumes belong at pop culture conventions? Is it a celebration of your sexuality, or is it inappropriate for the convention circuit? Anybody can jump in on that.
I think it's a kind of a double-edged sword on that one. I believe in expressing yourself and wearing it to unaware, but wear it to a level of like decency. I mean, it's not just us. There are kids that come to these conventions. There's families. Like, you can be half naked without showing anything. You know, like, it's just keep it decent. I don't mind it. Just keep it decent.
And that goes for more than the gay community. I mean, like, in general,
Yeah.
but you know, you have to realize when you're at a convention, you have to. There are kids still wandering around, and if you know your whole ass is hanging out, there are gonna be kids that see that, and that might not be the most appropriate thing for them.
Kaylee and Nana, I want to get both of your opinions on this because both of you have different types of costumes. Yours, Kaylee, would be more conservative because it's covered up. And Nana, you definitely are known for being...
I can jump in first. I more err on the side of conservatism when it comes to costumes. I'm not the type of person to want to like show off or anything like that. But it doesn't bother me too much when I see other people who are half naked or anything like that. I mean, as the other panelists have said, it does have a limit. Like, obviously, you shouldn't just have everything hanging out there and all the goodies on show. So, I mean, it's probably, you know, a good idea to keep it a little conservative. But, I mean, cosplay is cosplay. I think the whole point of cosplay is to be yourself and to do something that you want to do, that you enjoy. And I think that's kind of the key thing here.
Nana there.
Okay, so I love sexy cosplay. I think you guys already realized. I have nothing against it. I love cleavage. I love everything. But I do agree with that. There is kids, and you can't just be with everything hanging out. And, you know, I'll show my cleavage, but I won't show my booty. I'll show my booty, but I won't show my cleavage. That's kind of like the balance I kind of use. Like, I'm like, you know, this time, like, I'll show my boobs, and next time I'll show my butt, but I won't show my boobs. Like, I don't know if that makes any sense, but for me, that's like a balance where, okay, not everything is out, and I think I'm not, like, you know, scarring these kids for life.
Cool. I want to switch gears a little bit again, and I want to open it up to the audience. Is there any questions out there? Otherwise, I'm going to keep rattling on, and we love questions. Come on. Somebody raise their hand. There we go.
I have a question. Was telling like your family that you guys are into cosplay and all that, was that like a second coming out? How did they
Jimmy.
Well, no, but
Definitely yes.
I'm good, but I'm good. So I'm going to be on this show on MTV, and it has to do with cosplay, anime specifically. And they had to interview my family, and the people doing the show didn't really know what they were doing. And in the interview, she said, "So what was it like when Jimmy came to you and said, 'I want to be anime'?" And they looked at each other like, what the hell does that mean? And I was like, because I was in the room. I was like, I don't know. And that's what it sounded like, a coming out story. And they were like, it didn't exactly happen that way. So it's the same thing, you know. They were just, oh, that's cool. They thought it was weird. And sometimes my mom is like, oh, who's that? What character is that? Or is that character female? She's really, really confused. You know?
I tried to talk to my mom last week, and I was like, oh yeah, I'm cosplaying. She's all like, what's cosplay? And I'm like, hello, I've been doing this for like a decade. You know, some people just don't get it. But somebody else touch on this.
Yeah, I mean, for me, I think they kind of like, since, you know, with the acting stuff, they're just kind of like, oh, you're just doing an acting thing. It's characters you're putting on that role. My cousin's like, you're so sexy as Gabrielle, but the fairy stuff is weird. What? It doesn't even make sense, but okay.
I want to know, we'll go down the line, we'll start with Jimmy. What has been your most epic, awesome, amazing, most favorite costume of all time, and what has been your biggest mistake flub?
The first one, how do you choose? Probably Prince Edward from Enchanted, because I love Disney, and that was like my dream cosplay.
And he won the best costume at D23 for that.
Well, there was 3 winners, but I was one of them.
He was one of the 3 winners.
And was my worst or least favorite?
Yes.
When I was doing that TV show, I did this costume that I didn't really care about. I was just like doing it because a group of friends were doing it. Sometimes that happens, you know. You don't want to be alone, and some of them are here today. And that one I just didn't feel like comfortable. Like I didn't feel it was at my best, and apparently it was racist. But I don't know. Only
Why?
a couple people said that. Oh no, I changed my skin color a little bit just to be tan. We'll say.
What was the character?
It's from Steven Universe. Jamie is the character.
Who watches Steven
And-
Universe here? Whoop, whoop.
I didn't really know the show that well. And someone else picked the character for me, actually. And I was like, okay, I'll do it. And then that's just kind of how it went. It was okay, though. I mean, I wouldn't do it again, ever.
You know what? I want to segue this into another question, which is in regards to race, because, you know, every year there's always somebody that does quote-unquote blackface in their cosplay, and it's a viral story. And this year it was like, I don't remember who the cosplayer was, but yeah, it was another Steven Universe character. Here's the thing. I used to get shit on so bad back in the day 10 years ago for dressing as female characters. Because people looked at me and said, oh, why are you doing that? You're a sissy. Like, you know, why do you love the girl characters? You need to love the guy characters. But I said, no. I just want to be an artist and, you know, do what I want to do. I want to celebrate what I love. But now, you know, it's okay, and everybody celebrates it. Dudes on the street go, yeah, dude, that's awesome. So things have changed. But we still have this race issue, where in the cosplay world, if you darken your skin features, you're going to get crucified as a racist. But there's another section of the cosplay community that believes that it is okay because it's art. And if you are darkening your skin to portray a character, that's okay because it's part of your art. Now, panelists, what is your viewpoint on this? Do you think blackface is okay, or do you think that darkening your skin to portray a character more accurately is artistic and appropriate?
My opinion, it depends how it's done. Like I said, I probably wouldn't do it again. But I could see, like, I understand why certain people are offended. So I think it's important to hear everybody's opinion on that. I don't really know what else to add to that except for my experience. Actually, at the convention when I did that, no one ever said anything like those statements. You know, no one thought it was offensive. It was only after the whole Steven Universe thing happened with the other cosplayer, and I brought it up. I was like, well, I did this, and I wasn't like saying it proudly. I was just like using an example. And then a couple people were like, oh yeah, you shouldn't have done that. And I was like, well, no one said it when it happened. You know, it was only after the fact, after it became a big deal.
For me, I really have no problem with blackface. Like I said, we're at a convention, we're wearing costumes, like, it's a character, you're not a real person. And all these people that hate on people who do blackface, they'll go home and watch White Chicks. Like that was, like, they'll laugh at that. I'm like, oh, that's cool, but someone doing cosplay and doing blackface is wrong. Like, it's just double standard and it's really annoying. But I think if you're cosplaying, you cosplay. You do what you want to do.
Kathy?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like a lot of it depends on the execution of it, you know, how they do it. Because, you know, like you brought up, we do have it in TV and movies where characters do that, you know, actors do that as characters, and it's acceptable. We don't get mad at them, and it is and can be a form of art. But I also do understand why people would find that offensive, why they go like, hey, dude, that's not cool. Like, why are you doing that? Because I get that from their point. It's not something I don't think I'd ever personally do, but I'm not, I'm kind of on the fence. I'm neither for nor against it. I think it really just depends situation to situation and how people have presented themselves.
Kaylee?
Yeah, I mean, I basically agree as well. It's all about the execution of it. If you're going to do it in a way to stereotype or make fun of a certain race, then obviously it's not going to be okay. But, I mean, if you're doing it for your cosplay and you're really just trying to match a certain character and display that character as accurately as possible, then, I mean, I don't see any problem with it at all. It doesn't bother me.
Not a bear?
I actually had like a issue with that too. I cosplayed as Esmeralda, and she's a gypsy and she has like darker skin. So this was like after I came from Coachella, and I was super tanned, and I did a photo shoot, and my skin looks like perfect, like that tone for like Esmeralda, and I was so happy. And people on my wall were like, "Did you darken your skin? That is so awful." And I'm like, "No, I'm Mexican and I burn, like." And like people were just like, trying to start like this whole like war, and I'm like, no. I'll send you other pictures. I have tan lines, like no. And I mean, I did it once, like actually went like a darker with makeup when I was Storm from X-Men, and this was like years ago. And I like back at that time, I never had a problem. Like I think this is just like a new thing that people are just using to like, any underage people?
Oops.
Oh, okay.
I said one bad word, I'm sorry.
Yeah, I was about to say a word. I'm like, never mind. It's just an excuse that people are using to like mess with each other, Like it's just, I do agree. It is a really, really like it's a topic that has to be like, kind of you have to go in there with caution. I get it, but I do think that with all the internet people and stuff, that it's just looking for another excuse to make a big deal out of nothing.
I want to talk a little bit about social media. What platforms do you guys like the best? And what do you think is the best platform for cosplayers? Anybody can jump in on that.
I love Instagram because Instagram is very visual, and especially for cosplay, I feel like Instagram is the perfect medium for photos. And they did, and I've heard weird things that maybe they're doing this, but as far as I know, they're not doing the same weird games that like Facebook does. If you have a Facebook page and they're like, oh, you have to like pay to get people to see your stuff, and like, so I personally Instagram for me.
They have that new app called Amino. I think it's called Amino. I use it. It's basically a cosplayer app. You can see people's cosplays, people upload their pictures, people like them, people do tutorials, you can follow them, people can follow you. So it's very centered in just cosplay. So I think if you are a cosplayer and you want it, and you want to like do commissions and stuff, or get people to buy things from you, or you can do that on there. It's just Cosplay Amino. It's amazing.
Cool. I want to ask another question, and this is going to be down the line. And what is your favorite fandom? So, like, for instance, mine is Whedonverse. I love everything Joss Whedon. Okay, Jimmy, you go.
How do you pick? Okay, Disney, Sailor Moon. I know. Everything else.
Not to say, worst was when I was like 15 and I tried to do a Smurf. And then we started playing tag, and then I started sweating. You get the rest. It's bad.
Kathy, I'm going to do the same question to you.
To be honest, I don't think I've had one that I've looked at and been like, oh my god, that was an epic fail. I think the one that I'm most proud of is when I did Gabrielle's evil daughter Hope, and it was like with the like neck to toe, just liquid latex all over, because she was like freshly hatched from a cocoon, and there's still Xenites that are haunted by that, and I love it.
Kaylee.
Well, since I only do Stormtrooper, this is basically the only costume that I have, and it's my favorite of all time. I put it on a mannequin and I worship it when it's not on me, so if I could wear it every single day of my life, I probably would.
Not a bear.
Okay, so I don't know if you guys are familiar with anime, but back in the day, I cosplay Hinata from Naruto. So I didn't know how to sew, so I ordered the jacket, right? And as a busty woman, it did not fit. It like closed up to here, and then I went up here, and then the zipper broke here. And I was like, convention's tomorrow. I'm just gonna do a sexy Hinata. And, I mean, long story short, I drink a lot of, you know, stuff. There's kids here. And the thing just ended up like super open, and my wig was awful. Like it became like, when I took it off, it was a ball. Like it was that bad. And my contacts were so bad because I had no clue that you could buy like whiteouts. I bought like the ones that look like Marilyn Manson. So I looked like a possessed Hinata. Like I look back at those pictures and I'm like, what was I thinking? Like I'm wearing like a neon red bra with like the like jacket, and like everything was just so bad, and I'm just like, I'm so glad I don't remember that time of my life.
You know, we all want to meet people and make new friends when we're at these conventions because it's the best place to do so. But it gets a little hard to figure out, hey, where do I find other people that are in the LGBT community? Because it's not something I can go up to somebody and say, hey, so are you a homosexual? Like, are we going to bond on that level? You know? So how do you meet other people? How do you approach people and figure out if they're gay or lesbian or bi or not at comic book conventions? Anybody can answer this.
It's so hard because everyone's gay to me. Like, in the cosplay world, you can't tell anymore. No, but I've been to a lot of the Prison Comics panels, like at Comic-Con, and they have a lot here. And they have like a mixer, and so that in the con world, that was an easy way to meet other folk.
I'm just going to throw it out there. The Geek Pride parties.
Yeah.
Perfect place to find out. But
Tell
in
us
general,
about it. Tell us about what is Geek Pride?
Geek Pride is this really amazing LGBT themed nightclub dance party hosted by this fabulous guy right here, and co-hosted by my fabulous self. Yeah, and it's great because it's a safe place for the gay community to come, to party, to drink, and to meet other people that are in the community.
Yeah, the next one is going to be on December 6th at the Dragonfly in Hollywood, and we are going to be doing an anime manga theme. It's going to be called the Moonlight Party, so it's Sailor Moon. Who's a fan of Sailor Moon here? Oh, I want to see each and every single one of you at the Dragonfly on the 6th, okay? Because I have all the celebrities, the voice actors coming, performances. It's going to be awesome. So enough of my plug. How has the visibility of the LGBT community, how has it increased in the eyes of the pop culture world this past year? What are some new characters that you witnessed come out in the media or on TV shows or in film and television, video games? Nana Bear, let's start with you.
Okay. I was like caught off guard. Okay, so I think it's like super visible now. Like back in the day, it was like, okay, when I first came out and I told like my mom, I was like, hey, I like this girl, but I like that guy too. And my mom was like, okay, so psychologist right now, you're obviously not okay. And I'm just like, it's like, and you're going to church, and I'm just like, and now, you know, like, I was like, oh my God, like, my mom was like about to like baptize me again or something, I don't know, or she thought I was possessed or something, and I was like, okay, like, I swear, I'm just, you know, horny teenager, but whatever. Oh, I'm so sorry. Okay, anyway, I think that now it's like, it's amazing because it's not a big deal. Like, you see it on TV, you see it in video games, you see it everywhere. Like, anime, you see it in, like, the new TV shows. Like, there's always, like, something.
Yeah,
And it's
let's-
amazing.
Let's
like,
talk about some of them. Like, for instance, who plays Dragon Age here? Dragon Age Inquisition? Whoop, whoop. I am in love with this character named Dorian, who plays a mage. And his storyline is a main storyline. It's not, and he's not, dying of AIDS. He's not a pedophile. He's an actually legitimate human being with a legitimate storyline. And this is in so many other, like, name some other properties that have come out this year with gay characters.
Sorry, I'm really bad at knowing who the gay characters are. I usually follow the cool female characters.
okay, there's so
Like in
many
Mortal
animes.
Kombat, as an example,
Yeah.
they just came out with their first gay character, and that is a very hyper-masculine, macho male game. So it shows the progressiveness in the pop culture
But
world.
a lot of gay guys love Mortal Kombat, so they're like so excited.
I know, I love Mortal Kombat. I love Katana.
I don't know the character's name, but I heard about it.
All right, I'll go down the line, starting with Nana Bear. Who is some of your characters that you love in the pop culture world so much? Name the one that you want to cosplay that you haven't yet, that you're going to show the world.
Okay, so I think you guys already realized, because I've been talking about anime like this entire time. I love anime. I think that's like the best thing in the world, and anime. So I've been watching this like anime, which is, I mean, it's like it's from a video game, and like it's like super mainstream right now, but it's called Dramatic Murder, and I like all of the characters, and I want to cosplay all of them, and they're all guys, and they're super gay, and I love it.
Kaylee?
Well, I mean, I'm always hoping that Captain Phasma in the new Star Wars turns out to be a lesbian character. I mean, come on, we can have our dreams, please. But other than that,
they do.
huh?
Star Wars there's a lesbian character.
I know, but
Yeah.
is it gonna be Captain Phasma?
Oh,
Yeah, that's what I'm
we'll
saying.
see.
I don't know. I hope she's pretty sexy, so that's what I'm hoping for. I mean, other than that, the only other thing that I really know about is in Mass Effect. I know there are lesbian relationships that you can have, or gay relationships with the other characters, and I mean, maybe one of these days I'll branch off from Star Wars, do a little Mass Effect action, and maybe convince my girlfriend to be the other character.
Kathy?
I think one day maybe I'll cosplay Xena, Warrior Princess. No, I really won't, but...
Although there are episodes where Gabrielle puts on Xena's costumes.
Did put on Xena's costume, so maybe one day I'll make that
Happen.
version of Gabrielle happen.
Justin?
I actually did mine. Mine was Sailor Pluto. That was my all-time favorite person to do, and
You did it.
I know. I was very excited.
Jimmy?
Well, the one I'm wearing right now was one of my favorites. I always wanted to be She-Ra. So I think I want to do a gender-bent Wonder Woman. Wonder Man, whatever you want to call it.
Okay, so we are winding down to wrapping up. I want to know, is there any burning questions that are in your soul? Come on, ask away. Come on. Come on. Okay, going once, going twice. All right, everybody, thank you.
Gentleman in the back.
Oh, over there.
We all got so excited.
So, you guys were talking about some of the video game characters, and you mentioned Mortal Kombat. So, this is me. I am the Mortal Kombat character. His name is
Woo!
Everybody give a round of applause.
We love you.
Thank you so much. And it's been exciting so far. So, a lot of people do recognize me. It's been pretty fun. It's been pretty great, too. So, yeah, I hope to see you all around the convention today.
Thank you so much for showing us that. Okay, everybody, that is the LGBT cosplayer panel of Stanley's. Okay, Ted?
Chris, when are the shoots? There's a DC shoot, 2 o'clock, and there's a Marvel shoot, 2 o'clock.
2 o'clock.
DC is today, 2 o'clock. Tomorrow is.
Well, that took the steam out of my closing applause. Let's try that again. Everybody, this is the LGBT cosplayer panel. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you on the convention floor.
Woo!